Someone's choking during a meal. What do? The Heimlich maneuver, right? This poster in restaurants tells everyone that. But what if someone was telling people that Dr. Heimlich has become a fraud, is now pushing crackpot ideas? And bizarrely, what if that someone turned out to be one of Heimlich's own sons? Chief Investigative Correspondent Brian Ross has that story.
A glamorous night in Washington to honor some of the country's leading medical pioneers.
His life-saving innovations have saved countless lives. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Henry Heimlich.
Even at the age of 87, Dr. Henry Heimlich continues to be praised as the man who invented the Heimlich maneuver.
Put your fist just above the belly button.
A simple, effective technique to save choking victims that for the last 3 decades, Dr. Heimlich has traveled the world demonstrating and promoting.
Inward and upward with a quick thrust, like so.
But it turns out not everyone is a fan. In the last few years, his family says Dr. Heimlich has been stalked by a mysterious internet enemy.
Calling him a fraud, saying that he hadn't invented anything, accusing him of terrible acts of one kind or another.
The anonymous attacks have been sent by the thousands to reporters and scientists, according to Dr. Heimlich's son, Phil.
And they were coming from what appeared to be different people. One was somebody called Ionescu, who seemed to be a Romanian attorney. Then there was a lot that came from somebody named Holly Martins, who I later learned was the name of a film character in spy movies in the 1940s.
All attacking your father.
Yeah. So we hired kind of an internet detective.
And the family soon learned that behind the campaign was one man, this man, who had become obsessed with investigating and denouncing Dr. Heimlich.
After a long time, they finally tracked it down to my brother.
Your brother?
My brother.
Peter Heimlich, Dr. Heimlich's second son, was his famous father's anonymous internet enemy in a family feud now playing out like a Greek tragedy.
I violated the real cardinal rule in my family. I told the truth.
Now, coming out of the shadows of the internet, Peter Heimlich, in his first television interview, tells 2020 what's involved here is much more than a father-son relationship gone bad.
I don't think I am a bad son.
To go after your father?
I think if you care about somebody, you don't let them hurt themselves or hurt others.
Peter Heimlich says he had a good relationship with his famous father until 5 years ago, when he says he learned about a medical condition involving a member of his family that he says his father failed to treat properly.
And when I went to him to try to get answers, he was evasive and clearly was lying to my face. I was shocked. I started to ask myself, who is this guy? Who is my father?
And Peter says that led him to discover a long record of public criticism about his father in medical journals and elsewhere that had been largely drowned out by all the praise for his father's famous maneuver.
What I found was that my father has devoted himself to promoting a whole series of discredited, experimental, dubious medical theories, which every medical expert says are either useless, dangerous, or crackpot.
Including questionable new uses for the Heimlich maneuver.
The Heimlich maneuver will stop an asthma attack.
The Heimlich maneuver is not only useless for asthma, one doctor said it could kill somebody. And yet he's out there promoting the idea, and people trust him. Do the Heimlich maneuver on drowning victims.
Remember this, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation is not effective when the lungs are flooded with water. The Heimlich maneuver expels the water from the lungs.
An idea endorsed by the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, which produced this commercial, and where Dr. Heimlich serves on the advisory board.
If I were pulled out of a swimming pool and I were pulseless and not breathing, I would be very appreciative if somebody would take a couple of seconds and do a Heimlich to get the water out of my lungs.
But leading experts say the theory makes no sense. According to a report by the National Academy of Sciences, most drowning victims have little or no water in their lungs. and any delay in giving artificial respiration by doing the Heimlich maneuver first could cause brain damage and death. And the report's author says the Heimlich maneuver itself can be dangerous on unconscious drowning victims.
The pressure is being applied right under the rib cage onto the liver. And it would be very, very easy, especially in a child, to tear the right lobe of the liver, and then the child would die of hemorrhage.
Dr. Heimlich demonstrated the maneuver this morning.
Despite that, and even though no major life-saving group accepts Dr. Heimlich's theory that his maneuver should be the first response, he continues to push it.
I think my father has an overwhelming need for attention, and he took the Heimlich brand, if you will, and needed to keep it going.
Going so far as to actually claim he might have found a cure for cancer, Lyme disease, and AIDS by giving patients malaria, a theory he explained on this autobiographical video.
The malaria immediately boosts their immune system.
And to the alarm of medical ethicists, Dr. Heimlich put his theory into practice, commissioning a clinical trial in China in the 1990s, where AIDS patients were injected with malaria.
We allow the malaria to run for 3 weeks and cure it. That's all the treatment.
It's scientifically certainly unsound, and I think it would be ethically questionable.
As one of the world's leading researchers on AIDS, Dr. Anthony Fauci of the National Institutes of Health says Dr. Heimlich's theory about malaria therapy has been thoroughly debunked by medical science.
And it does have the fundamental potential of actually killing you. That is a big risk to put a person through in an experiment in which there's no fundamental basis to even imagine that it would work.
My father, because he's a pioneer, has always been criticized, attacked by the medical establishment whenever he's come out with one of his major discoveries.
Dr. Heimlich says he is simply building on the work of the doctor who won a Nobel Prize in 1927 for using malaria to treat syphilis.
You know, there are some Nobel Prizes that they would like to take back. I believe that's one of them.
But apparently undeterred by what the leading AIDS researchers have to say, Dr. Heimlich continues his malaria therapy quest, involved now with a new research project in Ethiopia.
Being resolute can be a good thing, but sticking to a wrong idea and refusing to change your mind in the face of overwhelming facts is something else altogether. It's beyond reason.
The rest of Dr. Heimlich's family is standing by him. His son Phil and daughter Jan told 2020 they would speak for their parents to spare them what they call the pain of having to deal with the poisonous barbs from their turncoat brother.
He felt that my parents didn't treat him well enough, didn't love him enough, and I remember him saying, if he does not pay attention to what I'm talking about, I will ruin him.
If my father were here, he would talk about how much he loves my brother, and he would talk about how painful it has been to have my brother doing these kind of things, whatever the cause is.
In fact, when Dr. Heimlich learned what his son Peter was doing, he told him so in this letter, signed, "All my love, Dad."
I never wanted to hurt anybody, including members of my family. But I had to make a choice. The things my father is promoting are a lot more serious than hurt feelings.
Do you think he deserves this after a lifetime in which he did save thousands of lives?
I don't think that coming up with one good idea that did so much good gives him the license to promote a whole string of other ideas that put people at risk.